All right. Now, Spurs fans, I have to address you. I read an interesting article today. Like, y'all know how I do, Spurs fans. Y'all like this shirt too, right? I know you do. With the Spur, with the Mono. You know what I'm saying? That's perfect. That's my boy. Anyway, I read an article earlier today. We just got LaMarcus Aldridge last month, 2 months ago, whatever. I haven't been keeping track. Last month, my bad. Spurs fans, we have Ime Udoka to thank for getting Aldridge. A very unlikely hero in my opinion, because I was unaware of the background that they had. Apparently they're really cool, really tight. Aldridge and Udoka were together in Portland for a while and they became really good friends. They kept in touch all these years. I read a article by Sam Amick earlier today from USA Today Sports, and it sheds some light on how the process went down and how the Spurs were able to acquire Aldridge when it was all said and done. And it's funny to me because I wasn't a huge Udoka fan when he was with the Spurs. I wasn't. He did some good things sometimes and all that, yes, but I just wasn't a huge fan. I didn't feel like he brought enough to the table for my liking, and that was that. When he left, I was fine with it. I was cool. I was happy. I was ready to move on and find the next pieces and keep building. He was older at that point too, so maybe when he was a little younger, he was even better. But I didn't. The version of Udoka that we got, I wasn't too thrilled with. Now I love him. Not only is he engaged and marrying Nia Long, that's some great decision making right there, my friend. That is great decision making, and I appreciate that you appreciate Nia Long, because I do as well. Anyway, apparently after the Lakers meetings with LaMarcus, Udoka was there as well. He was in the area. Aldridge thought that Udoka lived in San Antonio in the off season, so he told Udoka, "Hey, why don't you just go ahead and ride the jet with me? I'm on my way to Dallas, because LaMarcus has a house in Dallas. Remember that? That's where he's from. Why don't you ride the jet back with me, and then you can just hop a plane to San Antonio from there?" So Udoka, he ain't really saying. He was like, "All right, cool, whatever, let's do it." So they're about to get on the plane, and he's like, LaMarcus tells him, "Yo, you should go ahead and book your flight from Dallas to San Antonio." Udoka was like, "I'm not going to San Antonio. I live here in Los Angeles. I'm just taking this jet ride with you so I can talk to you and answer any other questions that you have, and just kind of ease your mind." Apparently, when LaMarcus found that out too, he was like, "No, that's not necessary, man. Stay here. Get off the plane, man. You crazy." Udoka was like, "Nah, no, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying." So he proceeded to stay. They took off. LaMarcus's family was on board. They were in separate compartments on the plane, and LaMarcus and Udoka just talked the entire flight. The entire flight. Udoka easing his mind because Aldridge had concerns about the offense and how he would fit into it. He had his choices narrowed by that point to San Antonio and Phoenix. And sounds like he was leaning towards Phoenix a little bit because he had those concerns. He had concerns that he wasn't going to be able to drop over 20. He averaged 23 points last year, and it's important to him, he said, to put up those numbers. He likes to score. He likes to get buckets, so that's very important to him. And he knows that the kind of system that the Spurs run, it's to just kind of spread it out, open guy takes the shot type of offense. But Udoka eased his mind. He told him, "We don't want to change you. Yes, we have a certain offense that we kind of run, but we would like to gear that offense towards you to be able to take advantage of your skill set. We want you to be able to command double teams like Tim Duncan used to do, but can't do anymore because he's older. He doesn't score as much as he used to." So we need you to be that guy, the main focus. And this talk and that is what solidified Aldridge's decision to go to the San Antonio Spurs. He said it himself. He told R.C. Buford, quote, he got the deal done, talking about Udoka. So, thank you, Ime Udoka. We appreciate that. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. I'll never do it again. This upcoming season is going to be ridiculous. Another thing too, I didn't think that the Spurs would tell Aldridge that he can't take those shots or anything anymore either. I've always thought to myself about how the Popovich system has evolved through the years because it hasn't been one thing the entire time. Popovich has definitely shown the ability to adjust his system and to play to the strengths of his team. He said himself in recent years that the main reason why we play the way that we do is because we don't have the isolation guys to go one on one with. We don't have the guys that can just catch the ball, take it themselves, and get a high percentage shot. That hasn't been what the Spurs have been made of. But as Kawhi Leonard has evolved a little bit, if you watched a lot of Spurs games last year, you saw a little bit more of that, and it seemed to be working pretty well. So as we get another player in LaMarcus who is great at one on one, why wouldn't Pop gear the offense towards that a little bit more to take advantage of the skill set that he has at his disposal? He's shown a propensity to do it before. I don't see why he wouldn't do it again. If you go back and look at the offense and how it was ran when Tim Duncan first came into the league, as to how it looks and how it's looked over the years in the transition, it went from Tim in the post to a lot of just straight pick and roll attacking to a pace and space type of game. There's just been a constant evolution. I don't see why it wouldn't happen again. It'll be fun. Once again, I thank you, Udoka. You the real MVP.